The internet has, in its relatively short history, been compared to many things: a river, a superhighway, and perhaps most famously a series of tubes. But as it turns out, the most apt comparison of all just might be an iceberg. Only 4% of the network we call the internet is visible to the general public. Hidden below the virtual waterline lies a tangled and secretive network known as the deep web. Unindexed by search engines and accessible only with special browsers such as the Onion router, aka Tor, the deep web is made up of peer-to-peer connections which allow users to share files directly and secretly. You may think that the internet is a huge resource of information. But in fact, what most of us see is just one link in the very long chain of underground websites and unseen content. So, surface web represents only 4% of the World Wide Web content. It is also known as the visible web. It is content that can be found using search engines such as Google or Yahoo. It is under constant surveillance by the government. The deep web, on the other hand, represents the 96% of the World Wide Web content. It is also known as the invisible web. It is the content that cannot be indexed by traditional search engines, and it's hard to keep track of. The secretive nature of the deep web has also made it heaven for criminals of various stripes, trafficking in everything from illegal drugs to stolen credit cards to child pornography. Due to the anonymity that Tor offers, the darknet, which is the part of the deep web where illegal activities take place, has become a popular nesting ground for criminals. Things such as drugs, weapons trading, child pornography, hitmen for hire are quite common. The Silk Road, for example, was an online marketplace driven by cryptocurrency Bitcoin. The site had a reputation as the internet go-to destination for illicit drug sales, including thousands of listings of heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Nevertheless, the deep web has also a strong appeal to privacy advocates who have taken advantage of the lack of tracking to shield their anonymity from advertisers and officials alike. For instance, whistleblower Edward Snowden used the deep web to collect much of the information that carried him into a worldwide controversy, and journalists around the world are coming to rely on it as a more secure alternative to the public web when searching for sensitive or dangerous information. So, how to access the deep web? Information on the deep web cannot be accessed directly. This is because the data is not held on any single page, but rather in databases, which makes it difficult for traditional search engines to index. Files are shared through any number of computers connected to the internet that hold the information you need. This is known as peer-to-peer networking. In order to access the deep web, you need to use a dedicated browser. Tor, the Onion router, is the most commonly used one. This method of sharing encrypted data makes it difficult for your location and the kind of information you access to be tracked or monitored. Now, how does the Tor web browser work? Tor routes traffic through the Tor network. When you are using Tor to connect to a server, your browser will establish an encrypted link with the Tor server. It will then establish a path or circuit through the Tor network. This path routes your traffic through several Tor servers, and the path is random and changes every 10 minutes. Once a path has been established through the network, your packets are routed from one server to the next. On the network, any given server only knows about the server that it received data from and the next server in the chain where it will send data to. No one server knows the entire path your traffic takes through the network. This prevents anyone from knowing where the traffic was sent from and where it is going to. Tor also encrypts traffic using a layering scheme, which is where the onion metaphor comes from. As traffic passes through nodes in the Tor network, a layer of encryption is stripped off at each node, much like the layers of an onion. When using the Tor browser, traffic is encrypted between the browser and the Tor network. It is routed anonymously through the network, and the very last node, the exit node, uses the encrypted link to communicate with the destination server outside the network. So, you're probably wondering, is Tor legal to use? On paper, Tor is a software which allows computer or mobile users to access the hidden part of the internet. As odd as that may sound, it doesn't solicit illegal activity by default. Not all content on the internet is indexed by search engines, and there is a plethora of legal information and services residing on the hidden part of the web, accessible only through Tor. At the same time, there are also a few negative associations with Tor and the dark web. It is a cesspool of illegal activity ranging from data theft to child pornography and everything in between. So engaging in that latter type of activity or experimenting with such content can, in most countries around the world, be considered to be a criminal offense. Using Tor itself is perfectly legal in the United States and most other countries around the world, as long as it's used wisely and for legitimate purposes. Users have absolutely nothing to worry about whatsoever. That does not mean law enforcement agencies aren't keeping tabs on this activity. For instance, the FBI can obtain a search warrant for running Tor.